What's up, everybody? It's Mover. Happy Friday. Welcome back to the Mover Mailbag. But before we get started on your letters and packages, so to speak, and emails, have you guys seen the new F-36 Kingsnake? I wanted to take a look at it real quick because it's fascinating. This article came out yesterday, and it says, this is the F-36 Kingsnake. It could be the Air Force's next fighter jet. New non-stealthy fighter might replace the mighty Viper, the F-16. And there's a whole article. Check it out. I'll leave the link in the description. But look at this thing. So from the side, it looks like a Viper with an Erst. That's infrared search and track. It's got an ESA radar. And they're saying with new design that they could actually have this thing going by 2030. Like within this decade, they can have a clean sheet design going, which, okay. All right. It can go Mach 2. It's got a EO targeting pod, the Legion. And it says they would prevent technologies from creeping into the jet. And here's a picture of old Fat Amy. And then it says the F-35 is a Ferrari, the F-22 is a Bugatti, and the United States Air Force needs a Nissan 300ZX. Now, as a car guy, I got a problem with this because the F-35 is like a fat minivan, maybe an SUV that's a little sporty. F-22, okay, F-22 might be a Ferrari, especially because it's great when it works. But the Air Force does not need a Nissan 300ZX. They need a Corvette, maybe a Camaro, Mustang, Shelby GT500, not a 300ZX. What do you, no. But anyway, that's the design. Not a whole lot of details. What would be cool is if they could combine, the Viper high thrust with, Hornet. It does say the Kingsnake would use the F-22's engines, which looks like there's only one of them, and place less of an emphasis on stealth. Yeah, the Viper GE motor's awesome. I mean, you put a big Viper motor in that thing. It's just going to depend on the weight. It does look like it's going to weigh a lot. But if they can get something that's got a lot of gas, a lot of thrust, good radar, goes high, goes fast, does good work, yeah, okay, cool. Love to fly it. Hopefully the canopy actually opens the correct direction. Unlike, it looks like it opens backwards. See what that hinge is about because, Fat Amy, the canopy opens forward because of the stupid lift fan design. So they all have to do that. But really nice if the canopy was normal, but. Cool. Anyway, just wanted to share that with you before we got into the mailbag. So let's take a look at your letters and emails. The first one comes from Scott in Washington, and it has a letter. And it says, Mover, I acquired this F-16 Viper tie tack about 35 years ago from McDonnell Douglas. As a former USAF air traffic controller and lover of all aviation, I wasn't able to separate myself from this little gem. I've decided you deserve to have this more than me. Wear it or just enjoy it as you see fit. Love your channel. Best, Scott. Man, that is awesome. That's so nice of you, Scott. I mean, that is really nice. It's got... That's cool. Item in here. I love it. What kind of packaging? It's taped. It's taped to the. And here's Von Ruff. Look, so far it's not a doggy mailbag. Okay, I'll call you back. I don't think there's gonna be Tritos on this one. I'm sorry. No, I'm sure this is a tie. You don't wear ties. Unless you want to start wearing ties. I don't think this applies to you, sir. Sorry, buddy. Scott, you did an amazing job of wrapping this thing. Check that out. See it? Awesome. Cool. If I ever wear a tie again, I'll use this. Maybe the airline job if I ever go back to that. But yeah, it's awesome. Cool. Thank you, Scott. That's awesome. I really appreciate it, man. That is awesome. Very, very nice of you. Hello, Sniper. Yes, you guys know there's no treats for you. I'm sorry. It's just a tie tag. You guys can't have a tie tag. You don't wear a tie. You start wearing a tie, maybe. This next one comes from Austin, from Lexington, Kentucky. This is it's a thank you note. It says thank you. There. Oh my gosh. Okay. I apologize for not bearing flashy gifts. Well, first of all, your penmanship is immaculate. Like this is, I can't, writing in cursive this is just amazing penmanship. But wish to give you my thanks. I'm applying for the May 2021 rated board as an active duty pilot or CISO nav. I'm 30, so not that young, but my recruiter has been optimistic of my package, so to speak. I have a PhD in music and looking for a career change, and my FOQT and PCSM are in the 90s and 80s. He's got the scores. He did really well, 98, 99, 93, 98. I mean, good Lord. Really smart guy. Your realistic encouragement has been indispensable in my application journey. Thank you, and keep the dry wit and knowledge. Austin from Kentucky. Tomcats. Thank you, Austin. Very nice of you. All right, this is the last of the... Are you seriously investigating? Look, hey, no, there's nothing. That's from the last mailbag. Sniper's behind me, digging through a box, so to speak. See what we got here. This one comes from Alec from Arkansas. And it is a B-17 from the Yankee Air Museum. Check that out. Reinforcing the patch board. I'm going to get to that patch board very soon. Our first contestant on the Mover Mailbag. Advice on how to be successful in ROTC and as a leader. This comes from Jackson. Mover, I just want to give a little background information first to help answer the question if you can get to mine. I've been watching your channel for about a year and a half now and finally found the courage to send something for the Mover Mailbag. My parents divorced when I was 12 and I currently live with my mother and little brother who has autism. I actually somewhat relate to this because my mother died when I was 12 and I was living with my father and my brother, cerebral palsy. My father served 20 years enlisted in the Army. Again, I understand that too. My father was 20-something years, 24 years as a warrant officer in the Army. I have faced many difficult times and have overcome them, and I believe that they have shaped me into the person I am now. I have always been interested in aviation, space, and serving in the armed forces since I was a little kid. I can remember the first thing I wanted to be was a Coast Guard rescue swimmer after seeing the videos of them saving people after Hurricane Katrina. Now I want to become a pilot in the Air Force. Getting the opportunity to fly anything would be good enough for me, but if the opportunity arose, I would love to become a test pilot or a research pilot at NASA. About to graduate high school and have gotten into a few colleges for aerospace engineering, Auburn, Embry-Riddle, Virginia Tech, and some other smaller schools. Over the past 4 years, becoming a leader in the Air Force has been something I have been wanting to do, so I applied for the ROTC scholarship to help pay for college, but also to commission and hopefully to earn a pilot slot as well. Do you have any advice on being successful in ROTC or as a leader in general in whatever field I may do? Thank you, Jackson. Jackson, I think you're on the right course. I think you've got a good head on your shoulders. You've been through a lot, and I think you can use that adversity to make you a better leader. And what it comes down to is people first, mission always. So take care of your people. Take care of your friends and fellow ROTC cadets and people in your community. Take care of those in your pilot training class when it comes to that. Just take care of your people, and that will get you far in this career. So we talk about be a bro, which again, gender neutral, but help each other. Help them. Do not try to compete and put yourself above someone. Try to lift other people up. Try to make them better, which will make you better. Be a teacher. Be a leader. Servant leadership is the best way to be successful in this career and to become what we need in the military, which is good leaders. So I think you're on the right track. I really don't think it's you have anything to worry about. I wish you the best. I hope you get your pilot slot. I think your commanders and ROTC leadership will see what kind of person you are, and as long as you do well, get good scores, I think you're well on your way. So thank you for the email. I think it's really good stuff. Next email comes from Jay. Four-legged family. Hey, buddy. Like you, we're serial rescuers. We started with Great Danes. We have rescued 5 Danes, amazing dogs, but their life is way too short. 1 standard poodle, a breed I wouldn't have chosen, but he's been amazing. A beagle, who tries our patience, but is very sweet. And the one and only Woozle, outside of Winnie the Pooh. Thanks for caring for your 4-legged family members. Yep. Stay tuned at the end. Yeah, stay tuned for the outtakes at the end, because that Luna made an appearance. Also, at the end of this video, I'll do I'll link to the trailer for our Fights On Indiegogo. If you haven't checked that out yet, please do. Please support it. It is a big project, but 5% goes to supporting Folds of Honor. But also, it's going to be a cool show. If we can get jets and have people dogfight, I think that's something that we'll be successful with. But we need your help. So, link will be in the description and the title card. And like I said, the trailer, if you haven't seen it, will be at the end. Followed by the outtakes. All right, this next one comes from Jay. Hey, I've been watching your channel for a while and the content shown is very engaging. Keep up the good work. I had a question. I'm having a hard time deciding between 2 occupations, whether to become a flight surgeon because I like medicine or become a fighter pilot because I've always wanted to be one when I was younger. I don't know if you know anything about flight surgeons, whether they fly the same amount as fighter pilots or that they don't fly at all and just stay in the back of the cockpit. But flight surgeon, I wouldn't mind an extra 4 years of school if it means I'll be able to fly next to a fighter pilot. Okay, so flight surgeons predominantly are in the clinic. They are the ones that give us our medicals and make sure that we're medically qualified to do our jobs. They do fly, and they do have a minimum number of sorties they need to get a month, but it's all in the back seat. There are dual qualified, dual rated pilot physicians. We have one. I know one. He's actually been on this channel. His call sign's Tag. He's a great dude. But that is very rare. Usually the way he did it was he became a doctor and then got hired, did a rated transition board to become a pilot, National Guard, and then came back and they allowed him to change his AFSC, his code, to do both jobs. So he's a flight surgeon and a fighter pilot. That's really hard to do, and you're very busy because while other people are just worried about flying, you're going to the clinic and doing all that stuff. I would pick one, whichever one you're more passionate about. If you want to help people become a doctor, do that. But if you want to be a fighter pilot, do that too. And I know a fighter pilot that became a fighter pilot and then stopped being a fighter pilot and went to med school and became a doctor. So you can do it either way. All right, this next one comes from Todd. Enlisted to officer pilot. Howdy mover. I have a question that's been itching my head for a while. A few years ago, I decided that I wanted to be a fighter pilot, but I only recently learned you had to commission as an officer. If I were to enlist and have the military pay for my college and take Air Force ROTC and re-up as an officer, could I get a pilot slot? Or does it not work that way? Thank you, and I love your videos. Well, it kind of doesn't work that way. So, first of all, you can get a ROTC scholarship, ROTC scholarship to pay for college. That is an option too. Second, you can do your plan too. You can enlist and then get the GI Bill. I believe to get full GI Bill benefits, you have to do 3 years of active duty time. And then you get out and you join a college, join ROTC, and then you're just like any other ROTC cadet applying for a pilot slot. You could also do OTS, OCS if you did the Navy. You could do a Guard or Reserve unit. It's not really re-up as an officer because it's 2 different things. You're going to commission as an officer. But you're still going to have to go through the normal pilot slot application process, regardless of which route you take. It's the same process, whether it's ROTC, off the street for OTS, or a Guard Reserve unit off the street. But if you're going to enlist, if you want to think Guard Reserve, you may consider going to enlisting in the unit that you're interested in, because that's a good way to get to know people, and it's a good way to help your chances of getting that slot. Okay, this next one comes from Logan. Career advice in mil aviation and law enforcement. Hey mover, I'm a high school with a passion for aviation and law enforcement at the same time. Having a hard time deciding what to do with my life, and I eventually decided to plan on attending the Air Force Academy, hopefully attend pilot training. Start watching more of your videos and realize that the military flying, then moving to the airlines and becoming a reserve deputy would be exactly what I want. I was wondering if you had any tips or advice for following that path. Are there any things you would have changed if you were to do it again? Thanks, Logan. Call sign, fish stick. P.S. When retiring from military aviation, I'm specifically planning on the Air Force. What FAA licenses do you have, and what other licenses would you need to become an airline pilot? So I'll answer that first. You will have your commercial multi-engine instrument. That's it. That's your equivalency. So you'll still need to do your CTP ATP, which is a ridiculous ground course now that they make you do, and then take your ATP check ride. So you have to become an airline transport pilot in order to do that, and you have to have the hours unless you get a restricted ATP. As far as your other question, it's non-traditional. So yep, you can join your reserve division any place. I mean, as long as you meet the requirements, yeah. Just realize they ask for a lot of time. You're gonna have to go to the post academy or whatever they call it in your state. You're gonna have to go to the police academy essentially, and it'd probably be a nighttime academy or a part-time. Some of them make you go to the full-time academy, which is a huge time commitment. For me, it was every Tuesday and Thursday night, and then every other weekend, the full weekend. And we did that for almost 6 months before we graduated. A long course. Plus, then some agencies want you to go through the field training program, which is like for us is 49 rides at 8 hours, 8 to 12 hours a piece. It's a very long process. In today's society, it is, I mean, it's tough. Law enforcement is not really loved right now. So just realize it's a lot of risk. You're risking your other career by doing it. As far as military flying, then moving on to the airlines, for all of this stuff, I think right now as a high schooler, you need to focus on what's in front of you. You want to be a fighter pilot, go be a fighter pilot. Don't worry about the airlines and don't worry about being a reserve deputy, because the thing about it is you don't know. You are, as I said this in other videos, at your point in your life, you are probably between 10, well, more than that. You're probably between 12 to 15, no, you're more than that too. Probably 15 years away from even having a chance of the airlines, unless you went guard, and then it might be maybe 10 years. The whole landscape of the airline industry is going to change. It's going to change multiple times between now and then. They may be exactly the same as they are now, where they're not hiring. They may be booming like they were a couple years ago. We could go to single pilot, or we could be fully autonomous. I don't know. That's why I say just focus on the near rocks first. And the nearest rock right now is get through college, find a commissioning source, whether you did that through college, ROTC, Air Force Academy, OTS, whatever, and then get your pilot slot, and then serve your country, focus on serving your country. And then once you've established yourself there, then you can kind of start to look at what's next. You can do the reserve thing while you're in the military. So the reserve law enforcement thing, depending on whether you're guard or reserve or active duty or whatever, you do have that option. But I just think that there's a lot of, you got to take your time and worry about the near stuff first and not get too far ahead of yourself. So this last question comes from Lucy. Lucy says, "Dear Mover, this is going to start weird." I already love it. I think it's great. I recently found your channel on YouTube through one of your movie reaction videos. Autoplay can sometimes bring you great things. Well, at least somebody's watching them. That's good. Normally, the things you talk about aren't something I would spend time watching. In general, I have no interest in flying aviation, cars, military, or fighter pilots. Man, that's terrible. How do you, I mean, these are all cool things. And I'm not American, so most of the education information you provide is not relevant. Okay, fair enough. Your Mover Ruins movie clip and review is the most I've ever seen of Top Gun. Horrible. However, that being said, in the last week, I probably watched every video on your channel. You are an incredibly skilled communicator and a joy to listen to. Oh, thank you. I watch and follow other channels on YouTube for their content because it's relevant to my interests, but actually listening to them can be difficult. I get that you like flying jets and serving your country, but after listening to you, I think communication is your calling. You admit you don't know things. You think things through as you go. You consider your thoughts on screen, and you aren't afraid of correcting yourself in a later video if you have made a mistake. So often, the people who talk fluidly to a camera are so polished and rehearsed that they make the people they are talking to feel inadequate, not being able to match them while all the time they are reading an auto cue behind the camera. I once hired a guy because he made a mistake during a trial period and he owned up to it. You mentioned owning your mistakes in one of your videos, and then I decided you were one of my new favorite YouTubers. Awesome. Thank you. On to my question. Have you considered working or trying to work in the film industry as a technical advisor? Don't know if the wording is an accurate job title in the US, and it might be called something else there, but given your background, your analysis of movies, you clearly know what they should and shouldn't be doing to make the fast jet scenes look real. Even something as simple as telling them to put their helmet on while walking to the jet whilst on a ship, or take it off when being driven there in the Air Force. I get the feeling the new upcoming Top Gun movie is going to be the start of a new trend. There's going to be a surge of movies on a theme. That is true. Remember Top Gunner. We had a few years of zombies and vampires and robots, and we were looking for a new movie theme to latch onto for the next few years, and I think Fighters is where we're going to go. I know you have a lot on your plate with flying and policing and riding and owning the two most gorgeous dogs on the planet. Don't forget about Lunabelle. But making movies look real is a good way of managing the expectations and realities for kids who want to go in the career and are going to be watching these kinds of films today. Sorry for the long email. Hope you're well. Keep communicating, Lucy. P.S. I'm female, and I get told off for using the word guys for a generic collection of people all the time. People obsess about it for some reason. If you want the true origin of its use, it comes from Guy Fawkes, who was a British revolutionary from the 1600s. Oh, that's cool. I personally don't see guys as sexist or exclusive. I see it to mean people who are going to stand up for themselves and get things done, even though he failed and his action was arrested and executed for them. At least he tried. That's an awesome email, Lucy. Well, so to answer your question, I mean, yeah, it'd be cool to do. What I would love to do, like if I had an unlimited budget, and first of all, I'd love to make the Spectre series or the Alex Shepard series, and I think that'd be cool. If I couldn't do that, I really would love to get with the Air Force and write a film that is accurate and as good, if not better, than Top Gun. Like I would like to create the Air Force version of Top Gun that is not Iron Eagle. So I think it'd be really cool to show kind of the men and women that serve in the Air Force and kind of highlight that service. So highlight, what we do and kind of how we fly fighters, because, we get Top Gun and that's great. And I love that it's a recruiting tool and I love Top Gun. I can't wait for Top Gun Maverick to come out. I'm looking forward to watching it, but there is no Air Force equivalent. And every time the Air Force is in a movie, it just falls flat on its face. I think the Air Force needs to be better at being collaborative to help with recruiting, to help see, that we're not just the chair force, that we actually do cool stuff. We have PJs, we have the Jolly Pilots, which I've had on this channel. We have airlift, we have tankers, we have bombers, we have fighters. Like a movie that incorporates all that's not cheesy and has a good plot line would be awesome to try to work on, being both realistic and entertaining. That would be the ultimate thing. Is it going to happen? I don't know. Probably not. But we are working on the Fights On Dogfighting show, which I hope you will all support. It's on Indiegogo. Check it out. Like I said, the trailer will be right after this, but that's not the same thing because that's not a movie. It is more of a show. But we're going to try to make it as educational, entertaining as possible, and as realistic as we possibly can make it while being safe. So I'm excited for that. But yeah, it'd be great. I think it'd be awesome. It's just a hard thing to break into and start doing. So anyway, thank you for your email. Thanks everybody for your emails and letters. And I'm wearing this shirt. I usually wear Folds of Honor, but people have asked me where to get this shirt. I'll leave the link in the description because my buddy who is the snacko for my current squadron, he finally took over. And there is a promo code. I think it's like Mover69. It'll be in the description as well for where you can buy these. He's got a whole inventory of them, so you can finally get this shirt and the other the tan shirt that's got the same thing on. Anyway, thank you all for sending me stuff for the Mover Mailbag. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Stay tuned. Interview on Monday with Reno. Ace Combat 7 reaction video. And some other Mover Ruins movie stuff, plus some more updates for the show itself coming up on the channel. And then stay tuned right now for the trailer for Fights On. Have a good weekend. Hello, Luna. You want to make another cameo? No? The other two have already been. Sniper, you're too short. Luna, come here. Bigger. Oh my God, why are you muddy? Oh. Here's Luna's Cameo. What are you eating? Oh. Okay. All right. Get. Okay. Now I'm muddy too. Why are you...